Prime Minister Modi's third innings has begun with a grim reminder of the internal security challenges that India faces. Challenges that cannot be wished away with rhetoric or bravado or brazenness. Today, as the Prime Minister hit the ground running, Manipur was hit with another escalation. The Chief Minister, Biren Singh's convoy, it was an advanced security convoy, was ambushed, injuring one person. It's very clear things are not normal in Manipur, where ethnic violence has continued for the last 1 year, leaving at least 220 people dead. The just concluded elections were a referendum against the BJP-ruled state government that has miserably failed to calm tempers down. But the fresh worry is Jammu and Kashmir that sent shockwaves as Prime Minister Modi was being sworn in 700 kilometers away in Delhi. A terror attack on a bus carrying pilgrims. Sophisticated American-made guns, also used by Pakistan's special forces, were used to open fire at the bus that was carrying 50-plus pilgrims from the Shiv Khori cave to the Vaishno Devi shrine. The driver lost control. The bus fell into a gorge. 9 people died. Now, these are pilgrims who had come from Rajasthan and Uttar Pradesh, safe in the knowledge that usually terrorists don't target pilgrims and tourists because they are the mainstay of Kashmir's economy. But that, ladies and gentlemen, has changed over the years. We'll talk about that in just a bit. Amongst those dead yesterday was a 2-year-old toddler who was in his mother's lap when the firing began. The mother didn't survive either.
ये ऐसा है कि अब जैसे ये सूचना आ रही है कि अभी उनकी जैसे डेथ हो चुकी है, तो इससे हमारे परिवार की आर्थिक स्थिति काफ़ी हद तक बिगड़ चुकी है, क्योंकि उनके 3 बच्चे हैं, जिनमें से 2 तो लड़के दोनों माइनर हैं और एक लड़की है जो अभी मेजर में आई है, लेकिन अभी भी वो स्टडी कर रहे हैं, पढ़ाई कर रहे हैं। और जो भी उनका साधन था, जो भी जीवन यापन का साधन था, वो चाचा जी कमाते थे, उससे उनका घर चलता था। कोई वैसे साधन नहीं है कि हाँ कि उनकी रोजमर्रा उनके धंधे से ही चल रही थी। अब जब उनके ऊपर से उनका हाथ उड़ चुका है, तो वो किस प्रकार से तो अपनी पढ़ाई जारी रखेंगे। जो बच्चे माइनर हैं, अभी उन्होंने 12th पास करेंगे, वो क्या कर लेंगे अपनी जिंदगी में।
Meanwhile, security forces continue to hunt for 3 foreign hands, read Pakistan-based terrorists who had come masked for this attack. Eyewitnesses say one of these terrorists kept firing at the bus for 20 minutes despite it falling in the gorge. The aim was clearly to kill everyone in the bus. Riyasi borders 2 terror-infested districts, Poonch and Rajouri. But over the last 20 years, it has been relatively peaceful. That is, till 2022. This is when terrorists had planted sticky bombs targeting pilgrims who were coming from Vaishno Devi. The attack had left 4 people dead. Now, this attack, yesterday's attack, has come not just as Prime Minister Modi begins his 3rd term, but also at a time when the Election Commission has kick-started the process of holding assembly elections in Jammu and Kashmir. What also needs to be kept in mind as we look at this terror strike is the record voting percentage that was recently recorded in Jammu and Kashmir in the recently concluded elections.
मुझे लगता है कि जम्मू कश्मीर का जो इलाका है, इलाका में आतंकवाद बहुत खत्म हो चुका है। जानबूझकर जो तीसरी बार माननीय मोदी जी की सरकार बन रही है, तो कोई दहशत निर्माण करने के लिए जो कल का जो इंसिडेंट है वो हुआ है। लेकिन अगर इसी तरह आगे इंसिडेंट होते रहेंगे, तो मुझे लगता है कि भाई एक बार पाकिस्तान के साथ युद्ध करना पड़ेगा। और पाक व्याप्त कश्मीर के कारण ही मतलब बहुत सारे आतंकवादी अपने देश में आते हैं और इसी तरह के अटैक करते हैं। तो पाक व्याप्त कश्मीर को ताबे में लेने का निर्णय जरूर माननीय मोदी सरकार बहुत ही जल्द ले सकती है।
10 innocent pilgrims have lost their lives, and the government, the ruling party, kept claiming all through last 5 years that there is peace in Kashmir. Who is the peace for? The daily wage earner is not safe. People who go out from outside the state to earn their livelihood, they are not safe. Kashmiri Pandits are not safe. Pilgrims are not safe. Tourists are not safe. Local residents are not safe. security forces are not safe. Who is this peace for? Unless peace is just a political, subject of a political speech, it's a different issue. But neither demonetization nor 370 revocation of 370. What has worked in Kashmir?
I'm going straight across to my guests this evening who know Kashmir very well. Forget what the politicians say. I think we need to understand what has happened in Riyasi through the eyes of people who actually understand what is happening in the valley. Lieutenant General Syed Atta Hasnain joining us on the broadcast. Thank you, General. SP Vaid is a former DGP of Jammu and Kashmir. He's joining us on the broadcast as well. Can I just start with you, General Hasnain? We've just heard from the politicians कि अब पाकिस्तान से एक तीसरा युद्ध करना पड़ेगा, etc., etc. Forget all that rhetoric. I want to understand from you, General Hasnain, why we are seeing, are we seeing a resurgence of terror in Jammu and Kashmir, or will you put this down to a one-off terror attack?
Thank you, Shreya. Thank you, first of all, for having me on this program, and my deep regrets at this terrible loss of 9 very, very valuable lives. But your question now, immediately, I still continue to maintain this is a one-off. I'll tell you the reason. There isn't a pattern in this entire game which is going on at the moment. I remind you of way back in 2000, the 19th of March 2000, when the Chikti Singhpura incident took place. You remember that is the time when Bill Clinton had come to India, was speaking at the parliament that day. Terrorists always look for such occasions. Yesterday was the swearing in, the third swearing in of the Honorable Prime Minister of India, and it was a big ticket event. That is the time when the terrorists wanted to strike. Obviously, there was a fairly energetic security all over Jammu and Kashmir, all over Delhi. I'm fully aware of that. But in this, somewhere or the other, a chink will appear. I can tell you, 20 terrorist attacks would have also been staved off. But this 21st has taken place. And that's the unfortunate thing. And it's taken place in a very dastardly manner, in which I just heard your description of the firing going on for almost 20 minutes to try and take down the maximum number of pilgrims who were in that bus. The attempt is to send home a message. The message which the other side, the ISI, the Pakistan, the deep state, whoever is there, wants to send across is that they still matter. Abhi kahani khatam nahi hui hai. That's what they want to say. That don't celebrate. In India, we have, and we, all of us who are defense analysts, observers who have been in Kashmir, who know Kashmir well, always state publicly that the absence of violence is not peace. But what is happening is there is an absence of violence. And one-off incident takes place after 4-5 months. But that leads everyone to start thinking that everything is gone completely haywire. That's not so. I think we've achieved a lot in the last 5 years. Most of the statistics are all down. This is a long-term game. This is a strategy which he will play out. At the moment, Pakistan is down and out. And they know that they have invested in the last 35 years, they've invested in Jammu and Kashmir. They don't want that investment to go waste. So they will keep the fires burning. And this is the manner in which they will do it, looking for occasions such as this to establish their relevance.
Okay, so clearly the no war, no peace situation with Pakistan continues as far as Jammu and Kashmir is concerned. SP Vaid, can I just get you into the conversation? I was speaking to some, some people who are posted in Jammu and Kashmir, and they tell me, and I want your analysis and I want General Hasnain's analysis as well, but for the falling of this bus in the gorge, there is a good chance, given the fact that the terrorists were in the area for the next 20 minutes or so, but for the bus falling into the gorge, more people would have actually been killed. The fall actually ended up saving some people. Is that your analysis as well? Sir, you'll have to unmute yourself. Mr. Vaid, can you unmute yourself, please? Okay, General Hasnain, can you just, would you want to take that question as we try and fix SP Vaid's line?
I can take that question. There's no issue on that. Yes, I won't say it's fortunate, but yes, the intent was to cause maximum casualties, whether the bus goes down the thud or whether the maximum casualties occur while the bus is standing on the road. The intent of the terrorists was very clear: maximize the casualties. Incidents of this kind, usually if there are 30, 40 people, 40, 50 people inside the bus, a large number will suffer injuries and you will find fatalities of this kind. The fact that this bus has gone down, yes, has to an extent saved some people, but I don't think that's really relevant in this entire narrative. The fact is that an incident of this kind has taken place, and this incident should not have taken place. I would also say to some extent that perhaps this is an area in which, in the future, it always happens after an incident, in the future you will have to tighten up your road security. At the moment, the kind of synchronization between the Jammu and Kashmir police and the Indian Army is absolutely amazing. It's very, very good. It's never been better. But we will have to be also conscious of this fact that troops from here were lifted and sent away at one's time. Some troops have all returned here. There is no shortage of troops in this area of Riyasi.
Correct.
Riyasi is a very important place. It's almost a junction on the way to Rajouri. And we have to ensure that this area remains secure. This is an area where there is a 50% ethnic divide or religious divide in the population. The other issue which will invariably come up is this because the Gujars or some people like that are unhappy with what had happened 6 months ago? No. That was also a one-off incident. And I think lots and lots of action has been taken by the Jammu and Kashmir administration, the Jammu and Kashmir police, and the army to retrieve that situation completely.
SP Ved, you're coming into the conversation. Thankfully, the phone line, I believe, has been fixed. Can I then ask you this? There was, common wisdom in Kashmir said, Mr. Ved, that terrorists do not target pilgrims and tourists because Kashmir's economy depends on them. Has that changed over a period of time? And by the looks of it, it clearly has. Why is that? And why has the abrogation of Article 370 not had the impact that everyone thought it would have on terrorism in the valley?
Yeah, I beg to differ with this narrative that terrorists don't target pilgrims and tourists. In fact, we had attacks on the Amarnath Yatra many times. Even when I was DGP in 2017, an attack happened on the Amarnath Yatris, somewhere between Anantnag and Srinagar. And earlier also in the 90s and in 2000, a lot of attacks had taken place. So there is no question. In fact, the pilgrims, particularly, it generates communal divide in the country, which remains the motive of the terrorist, particularly the deep state of Pakistan, on whose instruction the terrorists operate. So they would always welcome Hindu-Muslim divide and tension between the two communities, and that is one fault line which India actually suffers. So that is always exploited by terrorists. And what better way than attacking Amarnath Yatri or Vaishno Devi Yatri, or in yesterday's case, the Shiv Khodi Yatris. So Hindu Yatris, if they are attacked, it definitely generates tension between the communities. But people of India understand this Pakistan's, the deep state's motive behind it. So coming to your other part of the question, that attack on tourists. Yes, tourists actually are mainstay of Kashmir's economy. There's no doubt about it. And generally, local people of Kashmir do have a lot of pressure on the terrorists not to attack the tourists. But many of time, I think we have seen attacks even on Yatris, because when it suits their, like what you saw yesterday, it was a message to the new government of Mr. Modi. What happened yesterday, it was basically a message. And to test How does Mr. Modi's government respond with him having come with a weaker strength? So I think it was clear, and the way Modi government had isolated Pakistan, invited every other neighbor, and Pakistanis were crying hoarse that we have not been invited. And I think that is what must have been in their mind, that we must show our presence, and that's why this weaker spot was chosen. But as General Hasnan said, it needs to be looked into why there was no ROP when, these days, for the last 10, 15 years, the Shiv Kodi shrine is very popular, and a lot of yatris going to Vaishno Devi do make it a trip to Shiv Kodi, many of them. And this is, when we know that Rajouri Poonch has been in the fire of terrorists last one and a half year. We had seen army's casualties, more than 30, 35 plus. In such a situation, this area needed to have been covered by ROP. And we, if you recall, few days back, we had a attack on a VDC in Basantgarh area of Udhampur, where an infiltrating group of, I think, 4 to 5 people had come, and they also merged into Badarwa and Kathua district. So it all shows how a concerted effort is being made to involve the whole Jammu region.
Okay, SP Vaid, we'll leave it there. General Hasnain, we'll leave it there for the moment. Thank you very much. Thank you very much for the perspective that you bring to the story. Point is that Jammu Kashmir will see elections later this year. That much is very clear. There have been record voting percentages that have been registered this time in the elections, breaking a 40-year record. The point is this a precursor of things to come as we lead up to those elections? That is a question that security forces and the powers that be will need to analyze as well. For the moment, you simply cannot afford any chinks in your armor. I think that is the big message that is coming through as far as the Riyasi terror attack is concerned. Gentlemen, thank you very much for joining us this evening. It is good to have you on the show.